Good evening. I wanted to talk about misinformation. Okay, so the world's gone absolutely insane, and I see legitimate bunk conspiracy theories all over the place from the independent media. Not all of it, of course, but I think it's very interesting. But I'm quite concerned that there are ulterior motives and that it's actually being intentionally circulated to demonize all conspiracy theorists, right? By saying, well, you look at all this, you're all crazy, QAnon and flat Earth and all, I think there are a good number of troll armies spreading this stuff to further this narrative. That makes sense to me, since they're using a full-on, literally military cyber warfare division on the U.S. public, justifying it by saying that, quote, conspiracy theorists are domestic terrorists, therefore they can use the military. This is the same crew that was stopping enrollment in ISIS. They were, stopping the media or the social media from talking about those things, about Al-Qaeda or ISIS trying to stop recruits. So, this is legitimate military cyber warfare, but now it's turned on the U.S. public. And not just the fringe of the U.S. public, but basically the middle right has now been demonized, almost criminalized. That's not going to end well. But then again, they don't want it to end well. They really don't. And that's quite apparent from every action that is taken. It's all designed to burn it all down and further the New World Order, I'll say. This is the plan of the World Economic Forum. This is the Great Reset. Everything is feeding into that plan, including actions by Donald Trump. Everything is feeding into that plan, because I think that the Capitol building incident was very, very heavily occupied by agent provocateurs that were up in the front line breaking down the police barrier, which I think some of the police were in on it too, if not all of them, because they can't, there's no way, they can't talk about it. If there was shenanigans, they can't talk about it. If there wasn't shenanigans, they can't talk about it. I'm sure that they are, under very specific orders never to reveal anything. But still, I have a hard time really believing that they're all in on it. It might have just been the higher-ups intentionally short-staffing them, because that certainly did happen. So, the provocateurs, I think by the dozens or hundred or more, were paid to break into the Capitol. There was definitely, if you look at my other video about, it's called Into the Capitol. It was about a couple guys that were, for lack of better words, fake arguing. And one of them said, and this is the night before the event, and one of them said, tomorrow we're going into the Capitol. Into the Capitol. He said that 2 times just like that. If you look at it, you'll see what I mean. So this other guy confronts him saying, oh, you won't do shit, old man, kind of whatever. And if you look at it, it's just like, this is not a natural conversation. This is, you wouldn't see this. An old man would have started swinging the way that guy talked to him. But check it out, into the Capitol. I do think that they were plants, were provocateurs. And having that conversation in the middle of a mob was designed to get other people in on the going into the Capitol. Because you're not going to get up on a podium and say that. But to say it in a, in such a loud way and then create an argument so that it keeps the idea going for long enough to other people to hear it, that makes sense if, from a agent provocateur standpoint. But there was a lot of this kind of shit. And if you look at what happened on the Capitol, everybody seemed to be directed by, there's these guys that would be, okay, go, go, go. There was just a lot of them. It seemed very manufactured. People on the ground who know what they're talking about say this was absolutely a setup. This was definitely staged without any question, and a lot of people are in on it. So I find that all quite interesting, because it all does serve the same idea, to burn it all down, to turn us against each other, to demonize people, to take our civil liberties straight up away, to take away any dissent, any criticism. The people who are most likely to be critical of this government right now are those that are considered to be the right wing. I think it used to be more the left that used to be the questioners, But right now, it seems like the left are just like laying down and listening to CNN or MSNBC. There's just too few on the left pushing back against all that is going on. Because all that is going on somehow has been grouped in with the left. And I don't think that members of the left really necessarily agree with what's going on, but for some reason it seems like they're the ones less likely to speak up about it. Just how much of these conflicts are being manufactured with the primary intent to strip civil liberties and further this globalist agenda. I sound like a conspiracy theorist, but people call me that less these days with all that's unfolded. Anyway, take care.